no crystalling or fractures on the belly. A lot of times it'll break on the belly, but let's try and make a narrower bow right around an ELB, English longbow. So we have this pretty narrow stave. Let's bring it down to one growth ring. Take off this sapwood. There's a pretty thick layer of sapwood right here. These cracks are okay. They're going lengthwise. As long as they don't go and crack down and then run out, then we might have a problem. We'd probably have to stuff some glue in there, wrap it, and that's just one way to do it. Let's start by cutting this at 70 inches and see what we think about that. We have this giant knot right here. It goes through the center and this little guy. So I left some wood on the side to go around that. And hopefully we left enough wood to keep this spot from breaking. Usually these are pretty weak. Start down about 6 inches to make your string. Then start twisting together, which is going to be your loop, the size of your loop. Check out my string video too to get a little bit more in depth. Once you have this part twisted together, that's going to be your loop size. Fold it back on itself, brown to brown, green to green. Same color helps, just with strength. And then you start twisting it together. You can see that's going to be our loop. That's going to stretch just a bit. So you can leave it just very slightly small. Twist away, grab it with these 2 fingers back towards yourself. Pull out your strands because they get tangled after a few twists. Same thing too, you can check out the natural cordage video. It's doing the exact same thing. So we have our loop big enough so it can go all the way down the bow, just right around a few inches. 4 to 5 inches is plenty, because somewhere in there, that's 6 inches there. So that can go up and down. So then when you string it, you just bring it right back up and string it. Then do a loose twist all the way down. Then with about 12 to 18 inches, you can make a tight twist like this at the very bottom. Because if this was the bottom, you would bring it back on itself after you made the twist. And then you do a bowyer's knot or timber hitch. Bring it back on itself. Twist this around here 3 times or 2 times is plenty. Then that makes a nice adjustable knot. Okay, let's try and string it for the first time. Try and make a low string, low brace height. Let's see if that stretches too much. Nope. So our limbs are way off here. Just from the way the stick bends. We'll have to address that. So at this point, with how the string lines up with the handle, just loosely on here, and pulling it pretty tight, it kind of almost goes through the center here, but that's the bottom limb where it kicks way out. So we have an option where we can heat this up, straighten it out that way, or sometimes you can take off wood more on one side than the other, then it'll twist that limb just a bit. But I think I want to try and bend it and try that first. Let's do it. Okay, it's been on for about 20 minutes. Let's straighten this thing out. Let's straighten this curve out just a little bit. I put the wrong end in, and I was going to straighten this side out, but this curve was bugging me anyway. And that'll be just fine, that'll be good. Let's see how we look. It's going to bounce back a bit. Let's see how much it straightened it out. Ooh, a fair amount. That'll be fine, that'll be good. We're not really infusing a lot of moisture into this wood, hardly any. With this boiling pot method, it's mainly heat. The advantage is that you can just leave it there and you don't have to use a heat gun the whole time. But they both work. You can still tell it dried it out slightly. Alright, this side, what we want to do is we want to curve this out just like that. So we need to bring this out like this. Hold this in place for a few minutes until it cools, and then we'll call it good. you really have only about 30 seconds where you can bend this wood. After you heated it up for that amount of time, the elasticity of the wood, you only have 20-30 seconds. And then from there, if you keep trying to torque it and bend it pretty far, you're just going to break it. I've done it. Here, let's bend this one. See how it looks. Not that much of a bounce back. Cool. Let's see how we did. See how the straightness goes. Ooh, we're still off. Probably need to do some more bending. So again, sometimes you can take off some wood, or you can even file down a knock on the side here and make it pull on one side more than the other. That can help. But that can be a problem with these long bows, is that it's a little bit easier to twist them one way or another versus having a wide flat bow type design. We're getting pretty close to draw weight. Get several more inches, take off just a little bit more wood. It's not going to take much at this point. So something that you may think of is that, yeah, the string is going right in line with being right to the outside of an arrow shelf, and may be easier to tune for some people. So the arrow doesn't have to bend around the riser as much. But the problem is when you're pulling on it, it wants to twist out of your hand a bit. So you want to be careful there. It's just not as comfortable to shoot. Let's take some wood off on the inside here, see if we can get it to twist on the way that we want. You can see at the handle there, it's rocking. It's rocking to the left. So that means the left limb is stiffer. We need to take some wood off on that side. The bend looks decent. It's a little deceiving on the left side because there's already a natural bend in that middle third on the left. But the left side is stiffer, and you could see it there. Just when I hold it down, it just seems stiffer, it looks stiffer. So I'm going to take some wood off. We're going to concentrate on the inner third because it feels like it's a lot thicker there than on the other side. Made a mark on the inside here because I don't want to take any more wood off. Seems like it's bending too much in that area. Now we need to flex it 20-30 times so it can realize what wood has been taken off. So I was pulling it, just getting down to 28-29 inches, doing testing, hearing some cracking, just snapped. And the main place, well, it snapped in two spots. The main place is where this knot is. And where I messed up, and what we can learn from, is this big knot. We should have had some wider wood around it. Even though this is an English longbow design, should have had a lot more wood around it. Wasn't much on both sides. So with knots, a lot of times they're not doing anything for you. The knot is not doing anything for you. So a lot of times you can even hollow that out. This one looked pretty solid, but snapped in that spot right in half. It's like it snapped in both spots at the same time. So we lost tension on this side. I don't see any major spot why we lost it there. There's a crack in the middle. And so it could have lost some strength here and then broken that side. No crystalling or fractures on the belly. A lot of times it'll break on the belly, but with Black Locust, a wider flat bow design is ideal. And as a matter of fact, we just got back from Between the Rivers, a primitive skills gathering where I taught bow making with the Black Locust. We did not do this design. We did the American flat bow, about 2 inches wide like I did in the other videos, somewhere in there. And our students came out with some good bows. They're pretty awesome. Lesson learned, it was awesome. I'm going to stick for now with the American flat bow design with Black Locust. We'll see you on the next one, and keep surviving.